Alright, well, once again, before I get started, before anyone brings this up, because obviously I brought Timon and Pumbaa, yes, I do know about the fact that Disney's going to plan to do a live-action remake of The Lion King. You don't have to point it out, I already know. And with that underway, we'll talk about animal spirits. It was kind of an interesting subject. I was looking into that when I was tasked upon this. Have you ever had a powerful dream that featured an animal that played a significant role in that dream? Animals that visit us in our dreams may represent our spirit animal that is trying to send you a message. So what is an animal spirit? Well, animal spirit is strongly associated with the Native American Indian belief in animalism. It's a belief based upon spiritual idea that the universe and all natural objects within a universe have souls or spirits. An animal spirit is believed to be a supernatural power that embodies, attaches, or conveys influence, empowering a person with that trait of animal. The animal spirit is also regarded as a guide who might appear in dreams in the form of that animal. An animal spirit or spirit guide walks through life with a person, teaching and guiding them, and in some instances, even protecting them. An animal spirit is the spiritual energy of the animal on earth. The animal spirit is greater than the actual animal because it embodies the essence of that animal spirit itself. For instance, the wolf spirit. It is the voice of all the wolves that ever lived. It is the medicine wolf. It is the wolf that can see itself and speak. An spirit animal will often appear to the medicine man or shaman as a vision during a vision quest and has adopted his own guardian spirit animal and teacher. Now, as I was doing my research, I happened to find a nice little comic strips about spirit animals, and it's in your handouts as well. This one here, this guy says, "So this is the spirit world?" And the bear says, "Yes, a realm where you can seek your true being and discover your..." And the guy looks at the bear. "You're not buying this, are you?" The guy says, "No offense, I'm not just a new age type of guy. Is there any place around here to get some chips? I got a bad case of the munchies." And the bear holds up, "All I got is a salmon." Spirit animals can also be mythic animals. A mythical animal spirit can be a strong symbol for a change of life. Mythical spirit animals are not usually a birth totem, nor do they stay with a person for a long period of time. The mythical totem is likely there for just this one challenge in your life. Then there's the dead animal spirit, which is always a disturbing spirit. These encounters can be even more disturbing if the dead animal spirit you are deeply connected to. While these encounters are traumatic and carry them with them an air of ominous foreboding, it may not be a grave situation. Still, it is a serious warning to be aware of the animal spirit's meaning and attention needs to be paid of its message. A spirit animal's death could mean the death of an aspect of your life defined you as a person, and a new definition must be found. Or seeing a dead animal spirits of a winged variety, maybe you see your dreams of your future flying away. A turning point in your life may be ahead if you're evolving, experiencing metamorphosis, and the old must die away phoenix-like for a new to emerge. Your innocence is dying. Finding a dead animal spirit's head is especially traumatic if the message seems to be ominously dire, but it might not only be trying to get your attention, but about some sort of impending transition that's coming your way or some dangerous situation coming up that you might have to deal with. Perhaps it may mean you're only worried about your future, or maybe your future you need to be worried about. Don't panic, just be aware of the message. Now, I was curious because I wasn't so sure about, that not only the Native Americans have this about the spirit animals, and so I looked around and I kind of found some other forms of it. Celtic animals were commonly depicted in their life and history. Animal symbols were seen in Celtic jewelry, tapestries, carvings, and clothing. Celtic animals, just like symbols, are symbols, signs, or totems that hold incredible power and fascination for us all. More importantly, animal symbols serve as reminders of qualities, i.e. strength, courage, patience, as we all have. As reminders, these animal signs convey deeper meaning and also provide us an illustrative focus, providing our aid in our path of obtaining the qualities we desire. By understanding these meanings of the animal series, we can adopt these meanings into our lives. The Celts knew of this and called upon the spirit of the animal to provide them with the insight and qualities they required. Adopting animal spirits is an honorable and age-old practice of self-improvement. is a concentrated effort to obtain the desired attributes of the animal itself. Furthermore, it's a pathway to internal investigation. Animals urge us to open ourselves to internal exploration, and ultimately, they put us on the path of understanding. For the Norse, it was toism, a kinship relationship between a human or group of humans that had a particular species of animal or plant. The totem animal or plant is generally held to an ancestor, guardian, or benefactor of the human or humans in question. One way or another, the totem animal or plant is officially a part of the human self. In pre-Christian worldview and practice of the Norse and Germanic peoples, we find toism manifested in two prominently powerful areas. The animal helping spirits, most notably you might have to help me out on this pronunciation, Fylgjur, Fylgjur.
The J is a Y.
Fylgjur, okay, thank you. And the patron animals of shamanic military societies. But now I have to make something very clear here. In my research, I noticed that some various, especially message boards, some people think that a spirit animal and a totem is the same. It's not. A totem is basically where you call upon that spirit, or you decide to choose that spirit. So, like, for example, if I needed strength about a situation coming along, I could do a ritual saying, I call upon the lion for strength and courage to have me pass through. Spirit animal chooses you, and usually has it in the subconscious. Another type of animal spirit or totem, little heard outside of shaman and witchcraft, is called a familiar. A familiar is a spiritual entity that will appear in an animal form as a facilitator in the communication of the human with the spirit realms. There are many who believe that a true shaman or witch does not decide to walk the path. They believe the potential initiate must first be chosen and then accept a spirit being, deity, or mentor. Usually this mentor will send forth an animal spirit to guide and initiate to them, or in many cases themselves make forth the animal spirit, only later revealing their true nature. One example in the case of the shamans and witches that come from the background of European Celtic traditions, the goddess Morgan will often appear to the initiate in the form of a raven or crow, as they're familiar as she will reveal herself her only as the initiate as she awakened her true nature and accepted her as a spiritual mentor. And here's one cute form of a familiar.
Aww.
Yeah, it's a baby. There's the dog. It says, familiars, tearing out goblins' throats, warning of danger, babysitting the kids. Every good adventure needs one. Now the biggest question in everyone's minds is how they discovered the spirit animal. Now I'm curious. Now I asked beforehand, if they brought their spirit animals, who brought theirs? Yes, let's see. We got it.
A gecko.
The gecko. Okay. The gecko. We got the
Chinese dragon and the wolf.
Chinese dragon and the wolf. Panther. Oh, okay. Right. All right. I was close. So now the biggest question in a lot of people's mind is how they can discover their spirit animal if they haven't found one. If you haven't had a dream that featured animal, then you might have a difficult time trying to discover your animal. There are many ways to find your spirit linked to you, and there is a wonderful site, and that's in the handout that I found that has some really good information, and this is where it's from. When starting on your path to discovery, it's important to remember that, of course, again, the spirit animal cannot be chosen. It chooses you. Now, in my case, it's both my spirit animal and my totem. I had chosen the lion, but also when I was in my senior year in high school, I had a dream where this great gray lion appeared before me and asked me to ride on his back. And it was at that point when I had that dream, the lion was me. In most cases, spirit animals will be the most present when you're journeying out of your conventional state of mind, such as during meditations, daydreams, night dreams, or any altered states of consciousness. They can also come to you in the physical form. You will notice them because of an unusual behavior or multiple encounters in a short time span. The biggest example I could think of was that owl that Sarashun had. The one that appeared in her garden and then she took the picture of and it winked.
I don't remember that.
I think it was like, I remember she has the picture still in her fridge, but there was like for a period of time she had this owl that would, in the middle of winter, that would come into the yard and it would always just look at her. And so she took the camera to take a picture of it, and right at that one moment, the owl winked. Like as if it knew. And then I have this funny picture also. I'm your spirit animal. It's a snail. So finding your spirit animal can lead you to many different approaches. So here's some most common ways to get started. Look in nature and observe around you. Pay attention to the animals and their behavior. One good example is, well, like around my house, is there's like a pair of mourning doves that always will see hanging around. Be attentive when an animal appears in your life the way it is noticeable, as well as the unusual behavior, as it may be a spirit animal trying to grab your attention. Watch for repetitive encounters with that animal, either in its physical or symbolic form, as an object or image. Read books and animals that reflect on the animals that is standing out. Meditate either with a general intention or find the spirit animal or on a specific animal you found earlier. Being attentive to the dreams featuring animals. So if you start seeing a pattern with your dreams that might be an animal linked to, so like for example, if it was the lion again, if I saw it often in the zoo, or maybe if I was like out like in the savannas of Africa, for example, that would be kind of like the clue that your spirit animal might be nearby. And then the process of journeying. For example, visualization accompanied with the sound of shamanic drumming. That's one common way. And of course, like the Native Americans would have their spirit journeys where you do like the fasting, for example. Meditation provides an effective way of connecting to your spirit animal. The term meditation is a loose way to disintegrate means of relaxing and using an active imagination to visualize your journey inwardly. Set your intention for this inner journey to connect with one or several animals. Using meditation allows you to drop into a different state of mind or altered state where you're more receptive to the energy and into wisdom of the animal spirits. Animals and dreams are common manifestations of the unconscious imagery and guidance. If the animal in your dream is the power of spirit animals that guide you in the past, pay particular attention to the dream message your dream delivers. And one good advice when dreaming that I know Heather told me once, because sometimes I have a hard time trying to remember what it is a dream. Drink a lot of water before you go to bed, because then your body will eventually say you need to go to the bathroom, and it gets more aware, and thus, especially if you're in a dream state, you'll be more aware of your dream. So then when you wake up and you're going to go to the bathroom, you'll remember that dream, and then hopefully maybe find your spirit animal.
Another thing that also can work weirdly is take melatonin, because whenever I do, I tend to, for some reason, remember my dreams better in the morning, even though it's...
And keep a notebook by the bed.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Because
write it down quick, because
it's gone in an instant then after that, yeah. Unless something, for my case, it's like if by some luck something reminds me. As a matter of fact, last night I tried to do that, try to see if I see any spirit animals, and I must have came very close because I dreamt driving into a farmstead. As far as I could tell, there was no animals of any sort. It's so weird. So animals in...
They weren't at the farm.
They weren't at the farm apparently, no.
Those are domestic.
They're domestic, yeah. So animals in dreams, whether they are spirit animals or not, typically represent their feelings that may not have been fully acknowledged by the dreamer, aspects of the personality or feelings considered as wild or hard to control, basic or intuitional drive or emotions, an event of or person's influence in the dreamer's life, intuitive guidance of the spirit using the shape of an animal spirit guide. So here's a few things you can do. Once you've found that spirit animal, you know what your spirit animal is. Learn about your spirit animal as much as you can. Observe it when you see it in physical form. Learn about books and other media. Feel it, imagine it. So I mean, it might be simple if, for example, it's the raven. You can see it out and about. Now, of course, if it's a lion, it's a little bit trickier. You might have to go to a local zoo, but if nothing else, if you have cable, go on the Animal Planet or go on YouTube. Gives you a good idea of what they're like.
Well, and sometimes like if you're looking for your spirit animal, like it'll show up as like stickers at the back of people's cars or on ads, or sudden programming that interrupts your current programming, or like
Commercials.
Yeah, commercials, and it'll pop out at you.
And that's a good point to bring up, because that kind of also led up to my lion being the spirit animal too, because one interesting story that some of you might not know about was in 3rd grade. I was in a little class, and we all got an eraser that was of the circus variety. And I got an eraser of a lion standing on its hind legs. And something told me, don't use it, just keep it. I know I have it stashed away somewhere, but...
That was the first one.
The first one that was saying, why? So then quickly list the qualities and attributes of the animal that you could feel be your spirit animal. Don't think about it too much. Just respond to these questions as quickly as you can. Then ask them again if you find them more of the associations. How does the animal traits relate to you? How does the animal and what it represents connect experiences you had or have life? If your spirit animal had a voice, what would it say to you right now? Here's another little comic strip. This woman says, "This is the spirit world and you're my spirit guide?" And the raven says, "That's right. And I'm here to help you find your true self." My true self? Yes, you're a strong woman who distrusts authority. But sometimes your distrust turns you away from those who generally care and want to help. And the lady says, "Did my mother put you up to this?" And the raven said, "This wasn't going to be easy." Sometimes I wonder if my spirit animal sometimes kind of rolls his eyes on that. So here are a few possible directions to find your spirit animal. Figure out what kind of connection you have with it and your message is conveying to you. The following questions are applicable to any animal. How do you feel about the animal and its presence? If you met your spirit animal in person, how did you feel then? Go back to the roots of the emotional charge of that moment. Were you scared? Did you feel threatened? Were you happy to see your spirit animal? I mean, and once again, lion especially. I mean, I remember when I was young and seeing a lion in the zoo, and I didn't feel threatened at all. I thought, beautiful. But that can relate to any animal. It kind of goes back to the one about the snail. I mean, some might feel discouraged, but there probably would be someone out there that might have seen the snail as an animal and think, slow and steady wins the race. Exactly. Are there connections between your spirit animal and situations or events in your life? Are there connections between how you feel about your spirit animal and feelings you have in other areas of your life? Observe if new emotions or associations emerge, and have they been out of your awareness until now. The spirit animal could represent your feelings, but also a person, an event, or a situation from your past or present life. And I guess, from my sense, I've always seen the lion, because a lot of with also my Scottish heritage as well, the Scots also associate the lion greatly. What qualities do you personally associate with your spirit animal? Look at the characteristics or traits or imaginary qualities or symbols you typically give to your spirit animal. This is a good starting point for creating meanings and developing a stronger connection with your spirit animal or guide or guides. How is the animal typically portrayed by society or spiritual traditions? As I look at Timon and Pumbaa. You can also look at conventional images or general cultural meanings that are typically attributed to your spirit animal. Spirit animals can be imbued by its generic meaning. Include this in perspective in the exploration to find your spirit animal, or use it to complement your understanding. Spirit animals are often puns or play on words to reveal a deeper message. And that's pretty much what I have with spirit animals. And so in the handout I have them here. A lot of this came from spiritanimal.info. And it was really good info. And it has on there also a listing of the common animals that you can click on, and it will tell you on there about what it associates, what it is about. Like, for example, lion with courage. And then if you're associated with a mythical animal, the site I found, it's called galacticconnection.com, and in the section is mythical animal spirits. And it has the same thing about the mythical animals. Like, for example, I know one dear friend online that used to live in the area, her animal spirit is the dragon. And so I think it's the European dragon, from what I've always understood from her. But yeah, and you can go further on the spirits, and ironically, I'll train your dragon. Cat carried a fish.
And the other thing too is since there's a lot of urban living pagans and people, and so there's also urban-based totems, and there's some books out there about urban totems like the pigeon and the rat and the mouse and the squirrel, and you know, all of the animals that live with us and also benefit from our society, the way it's set up. So
Don't knock the cockroaches.
that's right. They have been around forever.
And so
They're more wise than you realize.
So what I want to do as kind of a little activity / assignment is I wanted us to try to do a little bit of meditation. So for those of you that do have your spirit animal, I want to see if you can try to connect out to it. Maybe you'll find something else. And if you don't have a spirit animal, see if this will come out. See if you'll find one. And the biggest piece of advice is, of course, if you don't see it right away, do not feel discouraged. Maybe on a coffee break, I don't know. So, I want us all sit back on our feet or legs. Close our eyes. Imagine you're heading outside, heading out to the back door. Imagine that these are open with an open forest. Always hear the sounds of the animals about. You feel the wildlife, forest, and nature, rustle the leaves, and the grass brushing process. Might relax. Go farther into the forest. Where don't know how a lot of time did anything pop out.
Or a deer. That was the first one that came to my right.
I think I could have sworn I saw my lion kind of hiding in the foliage. Just like staying hiding. Like any cat, like hiding.
The white streak that kept coming on the top left, top half, past my right. There were owls sitting in the trees. And I knew the panther was out there, but he was kind of like, no, don't bug me.
Well, then this is your assignment. I want you guys to spend at least once a week. Set some time aside and do some sort of meditation. And if none else, also keep a dream journal nearby. So if anything pops out, you need to write it down. But like I said, if you have a spirit animal, focus on it more and do some dreaming and keep noting, because you never know, maybe something else will pop out. If you don't, just keep at it. Keep at your dreams and meditation. See, you'll get in touch with your spirit animal. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Ted Andrews, I think is his name.
So did we bring these just to show them, or?
Well, that was to show and also to work with the meditation too.
There it is. Ted Andrews Animal Speak. So if you ever come across any animals, you can look up its significance. So if you want to look up deer, owls, anything like that, this is a really good resource.